My name is teacher Aurora Jimenez, and today we're going to talk about daily activities and routines. Look, we have two different people with very different activities. We have Tanya and David. Now listen and pay attention. Tanya is a doctor. She's Australian, but now she lives in Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. She isn't an ordinary doctor. She's a flying doctor. Every day from 8 to 10, she speaks to people on her radio, then she flies to help them. She works 16 hours a day non-stop, but she loves her job. She isn't married and she has no free time. On the other hand, we have David, who is a computer scientist. He comes from Hong Kong in Japan, but now he lives in the United States. He works 3 days a week for Golden Gate Computers. He speaks 3 languages, Chinese, English, and Japanese. He is married and has a daughter. He likes playing tennis and riding his bicycle in his free time. Okay, what are the different activities they have? Tanya is a doctor. David is a computer scientist. David comes from Taiwan and Tanya comes from Australia. David lives in the US and Tanya lives in Africa. David has a daughter and Tanya is married. They both love their job. Look, what do we have here? When we speak about another person, well, when I speak about myself, when I speak about the activities I do, I can say that I work for the university. I live in Chihuahua, Chihuahua. I am from Chihuahua. I like going shopping. I speak to my students every day. Well, etc., etc. But when I speak about another person, when I speak about somebody else, like Tanya or David, I say that Tanya lives in Nairobi, Kenya. And David comes from Hong Kong. And he works 3 days a week. Tanya works 16 hours a day. She loves her job and she has no free time. Okay, look, when I speak about another person, a third person, I use the letter S at the end of the verb. She lives, he loves, and she lives, etc. That's what I have to do with another person. And what do I do when I make a question? When I make a question about another person, I use an auxiliary verb, which is does, right? And I use a question word, right? When I ask for information, for more information, I use a question word, like what, where, when, who, how, right? And I use the auxiliary verb. I ask about the person and I ask about the activity, right? What does he do? When I speak about Tanya, I say, what does he do? She works as a doctor, right? What does he do? I'm sorry, what does she do? She works as a doctor. When I speak about David, I ask, what does he do? He works as a computer scientist. But notice this. That's when I'm asking for information, more information about the person. But if all that I want to know is yes or no, I make this kind of question. Does he speak Chinese? Yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. Does she work as a doctor? Yes, she does, or no, he does, or not, she doesn't. It's a different kind of question. I don't use a question word because all that I want to know is yes or no. And now, how often do you do something? We have the frequency adverbs to speak about how frequent or how often do we do an activity. And look, we have the seasons of the year, we have different activities, and here we have some examples. First, I have a question. How often do you fly a kite? I can say that I never, it's an activity that I don't do. I never fly a kite in winter. In the summer, I usually go swimming. It's an activity that it's frequent for me, but not so frequent. In the spring, I sometimes go on a picnic, and I use these words never, usually, and sometimes to speak how frequent I do something. What we learned today is to speak about somebody else's habits, routines, and activities. And what we used today was the simple present tense. Remember, if you got it, then use it.